Hello. So today we're going to be doing a in-depth makeup tutorial, possibly the most in-depth I can get. I'm going to try to show absolutely everything to the most descriptive I could possibly do. So my face is freshly washed, brushed my teeth, washed my face, so there's nothing on my face right now. But for my base, I do use moisturizer and sunscreen. So I put my bangs to the side and I have this Amazon snail headband. The first thing I do is do CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. This is my holy grail. It works for my skin. It's beautiful and it's not so oily to where the makeup's gonna lift and like be all weird, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna apply this first. Just like a little dollop. The e.l.f. concealer that I use is very drying and it will not blend if my face isn't a little wet before. Put some of that on, and then next I go on with this Neutrogena sunscreen. It's oil-free, breakout-free. This is 30 SPF. The one I used before this is new. The one I used before this had like 50 FPS, but it was a little much. It would leave more of a white cast on my face, so I went down a bit and this has worked perfectly for me. Okay, so now I'm gonna apply some of that as well, just also a little dollop, probably the same amount as the moisturizer, and blend that into my face. And I use sunscreen because it's good for your face, and honestly I mostly use it to add a little more wetness to my face so the makeup will go on smoothly. And then I also put my septum up so I can really get on right here with the concealer. So usually the first thing I do is make sure my eyebrows are all clean, so I'll trim them. There is some stray hairs, but honestly I don't really feel like fixing that right now, so we're just gonna go in straight to the makeup part of it. So for eyebrows, I use this Anastasia eyebrow brush. I think when I got it, there was a 12 and a 13 or something. I don't know which one this is, but it's kind of the wider one. So I use that. It's not really focusing, but you get the gist. And then for the pomade, I use e.l.f. pomade. And I think this is shade like dark brown or something. Oh, espresso, my bad, shade espresso. To me, it doesn't really matter what color pomade I use because I darken the ends anyways with black because my hair is black. And now for the eyebrows, let's see if we can do a little zoom in here. I like to keep a straight eyebrow.
I'm trying to do this so you can get like a good angle and really see what I'm doing. But everyone's eyebrows are different, so basically just fill in your eyebrows normally.
And now for this other eyebrow. So one is very thick. This one is very thick compared to that one, but the concealer will fix all the issues. And then I take a black eyeshadow. This is Maybelline. Look at that. That looks crazy. It's the cheapest black single eyeshadow I could find. And I just kind of dark up the ends. Probably doesn't make too much of a difference, but just in case. And now, next I have this little concealer brush, or I use it as a concealer brush. It like comes off, like the outside of it. It's probably just so old. It's disintegrating. This is Eco Tools, by the way. This is from Eco Tools. And I just make the tip very sharp, like so. And this is what I use for my base. So I have this e.l.f. concealer. This is not the hydrating one, it's the matte one. And this is shade Fair Rose, I believe. Yes, Fair Rose. This is, I think, their whitest shade. And I just go like this. Just get some of that product onto the brush. And we start carving out the bottom first. And I like doing a little blending down here, so when I blend with my beauty blender, it'll be a little easier and less straight cut. And this is just a Real Techniques beauty blender. We're gonna go in with the other side, get some more product on there. I'm gonna blend this down as well and do the same with the Beauty Blender. Okay, so both of the eyebrows are carved out on the bottom, but we still need to do the top, which is very important if you want the super little eyebrows. And once we blend all this together, we're going to move on with the base. Okay, so now the eyebrows are all done. We're going to use the same e.l.f. concealer in shade Fair Rose once again, and just do a little dollop underneath my eyeballs. One thing with this concealer is after you apply some product, you have to blend immediately because it will dry. If you wait too long, it'll dry a blotch on your face. So blend immediately. That's why I don't put every dollop first and then wait and then start blending. I blend as I go. So another dollop on this eyeball. And I do like to bring it down here because the sides right here do get red. I don't know why, they just like doing that for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that's super blended. And I also do a dollop on my chin. I do a little streak on my nose. This time I do let it sit a little bit because I do want more full coverage on my nose because I contour. And if I don't, my nose will be a little red and then it'll mix with the brown contour that I put. So it kind of gives an off-putting color sometimes. So I'm gonna let it rest for just a little bit. While that's happening, I will show y'all the next thing I use, which this is color correcting. It's white color correcting by LA Colors. This was their lightest shade, I believe. I used to use this, but this one's just obviously so much more brightening, and when I have a white face, white will be your best friend because it brightens things up. Now I'm gonna blend my nose. Okay, everything is blended, and I noticed that the sides of my nose need some more concealer, so they're a little red. And I do have scar tissue here from the amount of nose piercings I did there, and they weren't symmetrical with the other one, so I keep taking them out. Next time I re-pierce it, it has to be symmetrical. Okay, so I do like to cover that up with concealer as well while I do this. Okay, so that's all blended. Now I'm gonna do the white color correcting and just put a little bit goes a long way as well. It is very brightening, so even this much will go down to here. Like, it's gonna be a lot. So with this, I noticed that it doesn't dry as quickly as the e.l.f. concealer, so I do let it sit for about 2 minutes just to like be more, I guess, high coverage. I don't know, I feel like it works when it dries a little bit. It makes it more high coverage. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes, and I am going to be having my powder on standby after I blend this so I can quickly powder it so it doesn't crease. This is in shade Fair, their lightest shade. Pretty good. I haven't had issues with this setting powder, so it's cheap. I use it. And I'm going to be doing that with one of these little hand things. I will be powdering with it. So let's get to blending this concealer. So that is all blended. We're gonna go ahead and powder it before it creases. My under eyes crease very quickly. I also go like this so the powder can get up in that nose, otherwise that'll crease as well. And I'm gonna re-blend my top eyelid before I powder that so there's no creases in that as well. And I am noticing that I did not blend that good right here on my lips, so. Blend the top, look down as I grab the powder so it doesn't crease, and there. Okay, we're safe from the creasing now. And the last step I do for my base is just powder absolutely everything now. Powder the front of my eyebrows a little bit, doesn't really matter, put the powder everywhere. Okay, and now I have this Eco Tools as well. I think I got this in a kit with this. So I have this, it's my little powder brush. I just use it to take off any excess powder. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna be getting into is my eyeliner. I use the same eyebrow brush and make sure it's sharp, like so. Pinch it. And I get black eyeshadow and map out where I want my eyeliner first. I don't just straight up put the eyeliner on my face because I will mess up. It won't look as clean. So I go from, let's say, like where the brown meets, and I kind of just go like this. We're gonna do that on the other side where the brown meets. Boom, so there's it mapped out. Then I use the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner. It's, I think, $2 to $3. It lasts a good amount, even for the big eyeliner I do. So we messed up a little bit on that bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and take the same concealer brush that I used for my eyebrows and get a tad bit of concealer on the bottom of that. We're gonna use the white one because it's not as drying as the e.l.f. one, so it'll be easier to fix. Now we're going to do the eyeliner on this side. Now what I do is I have this, I don't know what, it doesn't have a brand on it. It's just a little, it's a stiff but kind of fluffy-ish brush. Not too fluffy though, because I want it to be pretty stiff. I get some black eyeshadow on it and I go ahead and blend this part. And I've been doing, whoa, I messed up a little bit. I've been doing something a little more different with my makeup, but usually this is what I would do and I would leave it at that. But today I want to do what I've been doing. And I get the eyebrow brush and just kind of line the bottom basically. But you can choose to do whatever. You can line it, you can just leave it blended. Lately I've been lining it. So now we're gonna kind of prepare for the lashes, but first I get, this is CoverGirl Exhibitionists Uncensored, I don't know, just any mascara though. Okay, that looks a lot better. So I have been doing eyeshadow on my eyelids, but maybe I should do that because that is kind of what I've been doing lately. I have this fluffy brush, as you can see. I don't know what brand this is, but I think I also did get this in a pack as well. It's just a fluffy, it's just fluffiness. And I get the black eyeshadow and put at least a good amount on it, tap it off, and just put it on my eyelids right up here.
And I never make it look neat. I just kind of put it on there. Because, as you can see, I have a little crease on my eyelid, so it kind of just hides where that blending stops anyways.
Some days I choose not to do the eyeshadow though, but today I am going to because I have been doing that to my makeup like on my TikToks recently, so I want to be very thorough with the things I do. And then next, the holy grail that makes my lashes stick on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours unless it gets wet. I use the Duo Glue brush on one. So this is in the green box. It has the brush on it. And I get some of that and I put the glue directly on my eyelids because if I don't, the lashes will not stick on as good. They will come off eventually. The inner corners will come off. So this is the trick to having your lashes stay on forever, because you don't want to be one of those girls who the lashes are coming off and you can clearly see it. This is the way to work it. And just put that where I'm going to put my... So literally just act like it's eyeliner and just line your eyeballs. These are the lashes I always use. These are cosplay lashes off Amazon. If you just search up cosplay lashes, these type kind of show up. And this is like the cheapest for the most amount I saw. So I always get these. While I wait for the glue to dry, I'm going to go ahead and start on my nose. For the base, I use this. I don't know what it is. Is it Maybelline? I think it's Maybelline. It's something, but it looks kind of light brown, maybe purple gray-y, but it goes on browner. So and then I use this brush. I got this when I was very little. It came in a makeup kit and I've been using it ever since. It has a flat brush, which is the one I'm going to be using. Kind of a flatter, fluffy one, not a hard one, you know. It's a fluffy flat brush. And I grabbed some of that, tap it off, and what I do is, my trick to find out what contour fits a little better on my nose compared to the contour I used to do is I turn to the side and I kind of see like where that tip is. So like it would be right here, and I put the top right there and the bottom I like to put up here to make it look more lifted. And so you see how I kind of have these little shadows right here. So my nose goes in a little bit right here, so I like to base that off of there and just go right, connect those two shadows basically. So that's what we're gonna do. Sometimes I do even a little higher, a little lower, depending on how I feel. My nose will look different. So I kind of just connect those little shadows right there. And this is the lighter shade. I use a darker shade to give it a little more dimension, but this is basically just the base. So she is brown. I get more. Go along with my kind of tip right there, and so it would be about right here. I'm gonna look down and make sure it is right there. And I can kind of feel it too. When I'm putting it on, I feel the little indentation, if that makes sense. If you don't kind of go with a little bit of your natural nose, even if you want super harsh nose contour, which is super cute. I love a harsh nose contour, but if you don't go a little bit with your natural nose, it will look slightly odd from the side, you know? I'm sure we all know that. I'm sure we all have done crazy nose contour and then look to the side and it does not look good. Then we get more product and make a fake bridge for ourselves because we clearly don't really have a little bridge. So I just kind of make a fake one. And I just kind of go right here. So I have a bump right here. I have a bump on my nose, as you can see, and on this, in the front, it kind of comes out right here. So I like to cinch that in a little bit with the contour. But I also like to keep the contour lighter on my bridge because I don't really care for this part of my nose. It's mostly just the tip that I want to look cute. The bridge, don't really care about. I cover it with a buttload of powder anyway. So all this product that I'm putting on, a lot of it will kind of just leave with the powder that I'm gonna put on it. So yeah, I make a little bridge like that. Not the craziest thing. Doesn't make it look the super skinniest, but that's just what I do. I take my powder and I kind of just highlight where that concealer without the contour is. And just highlight, maybe put some on the sides just in case any brown got onto there too much, which when I blend sometimes it does. And while we wait for that to kind of settle into my pores or something, I don't know, we're gonna go ahead and do my eyelashes. So you can use your fingers, you can use a tweezer. I like using tweezers preferably. I'll line it up with the glue. The glue starts right about there. And here we go. So I'm gonna go back in and make sure the end of that eyelash is sticking to that glue. So I do a little pull test sometimes just to make sure the glue reached that area, and along with this side little pull test, we're good. So then I go in and kind of push it to my eye a little more like this. Make sure all the glue is bonded to the band of the eyelash. And then I go like this too. I push it up because sometimes the top will be a little uneven. If you push it up, your eyelids kind of stick to them and it makes them even. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I do. And do the same technique, line up the glue with the front and then line it up with the bottom like so. And then stick the front back down, make sure it's doing the little pull test correctly, bam. Okay, now with my fingers, make sure it's on the glue. Bond, bond, bond. And then we do the push-up thing. Okay. And now our lashes are on. Take that all off, all the excess. And now what I do to make sure my contour is a little more defined, because see, the powder kind of washed it out. It's slightly there. I want this to be more prominent. So I have this Modern Resonance, throwback Modern Resonance Anastasia palette. I have this brown in there, Cypress Umber, the darkest brown that's in this palette. I use that to kind of give more dimension on my nose. So I use the same contour brush. I put a little bit of Cypress Umber because, like, look, that's how much I put on. Because it is very pigmented. And all I do is
line up the bottom and the top.
like so, and just kind of blend it a little bit, but not too much to where it washes out again. Sometimes I'll even take a little more Cypress Umber and kind of go down here. I feel like it makes my nose look a tad bit more skinny. Next thing I do is I have this, another Eco Tools, I believe. Yes, it's an Eco Tools, came in the same pack, I'm pretty sure. And I have the cheapest white eyeshadow, standalone eyeshadow. So it's gone, but what I use is the weird powder that's up there. Okay, so I need a new one. And I just highlight my nose a little bit with that. I don't use highlighter on my nose, I just do white eyeshadow. Now we're gonna get into contouring the eye fat. This is how I make sure I'm getting it in the right place. What I do is I go like this, as if I'm like smiling, but I go like this. And so like there, I take a tad bit of Cypress Umber and go like this and just put a little bit on both sides. Like I said, this eyeshadow is very pigmented, so a little bit will go a long way. I take the same white eyeshadow and highlight above that a little bit. Now we are getting towards the very end of my makeup tutorial. So if you're here, if you've been here that long, thank you for watching. And let me know if you have any more questions about the things I use. So I have my little birthmark thing right here, so that's kind of easy to tell where I always put them. I don't know what brand this is. I honestly do not know what brand this is, but it's a brown eyeliner, basically. And I just put a mark there. And I like putting one kind of under my eye as well. If you've been following me for a while, I used to do one right here and one right here as well. But I brought it down to 2. And I just kind of pat it with my fingers to get too much of the excess off. Now, I take the same contour brush and I get the same Anastasia Modern Resonance palette. And I use, where is it? Beyond Fresco. Where is it? This one. And I grab a buttload of that and I do my lips. Now the lips are done. And I end it off with Carmex usually, but I got this from Shein a long time ago. It's She Glam. I don't know, but it's like a pink gloss. But it's one of these things. And it just gives me a little gloss. And yeah. Last thing I do is, of course, put in my Eyebrow's contacts. These are called the Sullen Doll Eyes, so S-U-L-L-E-N. If you want to get them, I have a code with Eyebrow, so if you want 20% off, you can use this code if you want. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and put them. And that basically sums up absolutely everything. I don't use setting spray or anything, so that's basically it. This is the makeup look all done. Anyways, yeah, that was my makeup tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, of course, put them down in the comments and I will answer. Yeah, be sure to check out my hairstyling tutorial if you want to, or any of that, or if you have any more video recommendations of things you want to know. I will hopefully be doing a bang cutting tutorial soon. I've been letting them grow out a little bit so I can do a YouTube video on that. But thank you for watching.